forget to like this video if you like it. Click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend. Greetings, family. This is Mike Allen here, digging in the Word with another video. This is actually an addendum, a supplement to the series that we are on right now. Either your pastor is lying or he just doesn't know. We're now just entered last week the second part of that series. The first part was done earlier in the summer, which consisted of 5 videos. If you haven't seen those videos, I encourage you to go back and take a look. Those videos actually deal with the historical reality of how we got to where we are, where pastors are lying or they just don't know. And that particular part, I titled it A Deception Over Time. How we have been deceived over time by church leadership and government co-opting. This second part deals with marriage ceremony per se, and it is titled Marriage Ceremonies Are Not Scripture, which comes as a surprise to many. Many of us have not only, if we haven't gotten married, we know people that have gotten married, or we've attended marriage ceremonies. And as a surprise to many, there are actually no prescriptions within Scripture. There are no scriptural mandates. There are no rituals. There are no biblical examples of an actual marriage ceremony. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because it's a supplement. It's an addendum to what I did last week, starting this second part on marriage ceremonies. And I've gotten a number of questions from viewers, subscribers. I've gotten some emails, some comments on the video asking about this particular point, or speaking in reference to this particular point. Is there precedence in Scripture with Jesus and the wedding feast, or whenever the Scriptures talks about a wedding feast? Does that mean that it was a wedding ceremony? Well, I just want to say right off the back, and I want to make this clarification, that a wedding feast and a wedding ceremony are two mutually exclusive things. One can attend a wedding feast and there may be some sort of ceremony there, but the ceremony and the feast is not the same thing. In the Greek, in the word that Jesus actually used at the marriage feast is the Greek word gamos, which actually means a wedding festival or a wedding banquet. Now, these things were done to either commemorate, these things were done as a celebration, as an act of worship, that you see festivals or banquets taking place. And so it's not necessarily a ceremony. A ceremony is actually a ritual. It's a formal order of acts that are done to either commemorate, to announce, to put into place, like put someone into position, like coronating a king, or to bless something in particular. That is the purpose of doing, or anoint something. That is the purpose of doing a ceremony. So a ceremony and a banquet or a festival is not the same thing. So other than that, there are no scriptures within the Bible that actually give or lays out any prescription or instruction or commandment to do a marriage ceremony. And as I said in last week's video, that this is actually was something that was put in place by the Roman Catholic Church at the Council of Trent in 1563, where they prescribed and mandated that all weddings have a ceremony. And that ceremony consisted of a priest overseeing or being an officiant as a representative of the church, and to be able to add the church's blessing if they deemed that that particular union that was so-called established by that priest was done under the prescriptions or the criteria of the church. In other words, the church was interested in making sure that people got married according to their prescriptions and their mandates. And so in their polity, they wanted to ensure that there were no multiple marriages, no polygamous marriages being taken place. They definitely did not want priests marrying. So they wanted to have their hand in people's unions, because they wanted people to be married according to how the church prescribed. Nowhere in scripture, my friends, nowhere in scripture do you see the church or Jesus or the apostles or the prophets, for that matter, prescribing that people's union be overseen by some sort of agent of the church or the temple. Why? Because these were matters that were contracted between families. It was the fathers who gave their daughters to a particular man through contract, and it was the fathers who made the agreements, either with the father of the groom or with the groom himself. But nevertheless, there was no need to have some sort of agent from the temple or from the church to supervise people's unions. And we're going to get deeper into that as we go along. I don't want to give too much in this video, but we're going to go deeper. So I encourage you to continue watching this series. If you didn't see the video, the first episode of this part, marriage ceremonies are not scriptural, I'd encourage you go and check it out. The other thing is that I jumped in at the end of the video and I announced that I have finally written my first book. It's an ebook, and it's a book that was really based on demand. I was in the midst of writing another book, which I'm continuing to write, and hopefully it will be out and ready shortly. But in writing that book, I've decided I wanted to give something to my audience and to my viewers, and I want to build more of a community here in Digging in the Word. And so what I wanted to do was offer a free resource, and that resource was intended to be a 1 or 2 page list of scriptures, because a number of the viewers always ask me for a list of scriptures on biblical polygamy. And so in the midst of writing that book, it ended up being 24, or that 1 or 2 pager, it ended up being a 24-page book. So I still, as in my heart, desire to give that away for free. And so it is available. The link will be down below in the description box. The other thing is that, what's your take? What's your feedback on this subject, that wedding ceremonies are not scriptural? Have you ever wondered yourself, are there any biblical examples or ceremonies within the Bible? Are there any mandates that a couple must have a priest or a preacher to preside over their union in order for it to be legitimate in God's eyes? What do you say? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get your feedback. Keep digging in the Word, and until next time, look out for the next video, that second part on marriages are not scriptural, coming out in the next 2 days. Take care. God bless.